All right, welcome to Vibe Osmosis. How are you doing this morning or your day?
Yeah, it's almost evening here in south of Sweden, but yeah, for sure, man. Thank you very much. I'm glad. I'm glad for sure. How are you?
Oh, it's been a good morning. So what's your astrological sign? Do you have one?
Uh, I'm kind of bad with the English, what you say, versions of the astrological signs, but I think I'm a Capricorn. I'm born in the middle of January, so that would make sense, right?
Yeah, yeah. Do you have a favorite color?
Always been somewhere between blue and green, I suppose, but I can't pick a favorite.
No problem there. Do you have a favorite movie right now?
Movie,
Yeah.
as in, oof, man, you gotta depends entirely on the day. I thought you'd never ask.
Have you seen
Uh,
anything good lately?
oh, I rewatched like Jim Jarmusch Patterson the other day. You know, with Adam Driver. Do you know that one?
I don't think I've seen it. What did you think about it?
Oh, it's from 2016. It's probably his best performance, Adam Driver. I'd say, yeah. It's probably the most wholesome movie I can I can think of. It's like a week in in the everyday life of a bus driver, played by Adam Driver. So shit goes deep with the meta humor, I guess. Uh,
One thing about Adam Driver I know is that we share the same birthday.
really,
Yeah.
when is that?
No, November 19th.
Oh, okay, okay, I see. Then, and how old are you, buddy?
I'm 26. How about you, brother?
I'm 30. I just turned 30 in January. That, yeah. So
Well,
cool.
happy belated birthday on this one.
Hats off to you too, buddy.
I want to get into your music. So I like what you sent me, and I'm really intrigued because you say you have an album coming out or you're working on.
Yeah, not something I wanna. I'm keeping it kind of undisclosed at the minute, but
Okay.
yeah, for sure. I have releases coming up. I'm hoping I can put out first single or whatever you want to call it in yeah, somewhere before the summer. I hope. But yeah, I don't really have a concrete time frame with this thing. But yeah, there's a music video in the making and everything. I feel really excited about it. Yeah.
And with your music, is it always created like on the spot, like building up sounds, or are you having to go and find sounds to like create and save?
Oh man, depends entirely on uh, how I frame my mindsets actually.
Yeah.
Either if it stems from working on entirely on a computer or with a sequencer or a drum machine, I use whatever I can come across, and yeah, it's a cross between loads of different. Oh, sorry, you gotta be patient with my English, man. It's yeah, it's a mix between analog and digital, almost. Um,
And what about analog and digital do you like working with the most too?
um, as I guess most people who start out making music by themselves start with a DAW computer software, and that's nice. That's the way I really got going for like 7 or 8 years ago. Um, I really started making putting the time into it and learning things, and after a while I was so fatigued by the process of just staring into a computer all day and looking at screens, man. It's it's what we're all plagued by in today's society, if you ask me. And the feeling of turning to knobs and pushing buttons, something physical, analog to touch upon is yeah, it's an improvement to say the least.
And with your music, is it directly like inspired by like bands and artists like you listen to, or is it kind of also like you're putting together your own message and your own themes?
Yeah, man, I thought a lot about like creating lyrics and singing and stuff before, and it's like that's a rabbit hole. I really don't want to spend too much time going down creatively, but yeah, it's something I might get into. But creating music for me is yeah, for sure it stems from my interest in music and bands I love, and yeah, most music I've been listening to for as long as I can remember, like Rage Against the Machine or Daft Punk or this is borderline guilty pleasure things now, but I'm believing in full transparency when talking about these kinds of things. So like my old favorite band when I was 17, 18 was Muse. I don't know if you heard of them, like the trio
Definitely.
from Teignmouth in England. But nowadays I find them too corny for my taste and can't deal with it. But yeah, that's where most of my music interests stemmed from back in the day, and it just kept going there. And now I'm more. I wouldn't say that I listen to solely electronic music, just because I like to create and express my music electronically. But I listen to all kinds of stuff like dub reggae and classic rock. I'm in sort of a Neil Young phase right now, really, and delving deep into that discography, um, and exploring and coming across new songs daily that I just find so wholesome and inspiring and uplifting. And in the end, that's the best kind of music, if you ask me.
One of my all-time favorite songs by Muse is Muscle Museum.
Ooh, yeah, man, that goes way back, 90s, I think.
It's one of those ones that really stuck out to me because the use of the synthesizer and like the different aspects of like pulling together your guitar riffs and your bass and like there's some stuff in like that message alone too. I was like, this is really cool and up my alley. Um, and also like I also have like this thing about like younger kind of music that like to me it's like I say younger because like it came out in America like in the mid like 2000s as far as like it kind of being more popular to like maybe
Yeah.
dive into their records even though they've already been like an established band, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Do you kind of have artists that are like um maybe popular in America but took a while to kind of make its way over there?
Oh, yeah, yeah, for sure. My favorite musicians are American, from Baltimore, Animal Collective, and Panda Bear in general. Yeah.
Me
Uh,
too.
yeah, cool, man. Yeah, I think we've bonded over a mutual love for that guy, man. I gotta say, I traveled by myself to Barcelona to see him and Sonic Boom perform at my favorite venue there this winter. They did the whole Reset album from beginning to end. And it was, yeah, everything you can imagine it would be. So, yeah.
Yeah, I really they're going to be playing a few shows in the North America and I'm really hoping to catch one of their shows because it seems like it's an opportunity that is only here for a very small time, you know.
Yeah.
And this
Yeah, that's.
record is really good. I'm a really
Oh,
big
yeah.
fan of that.
Yeah, when it comes to Panama, I have a really hard time picking out favorites. So yeah, that's like choosing a sibling you love more or a favorite parent or something. But I'm constantly debating with myself all day. Like, what is my favorite song? Which album is the best? No, I like this more because of this and that, and you know. But really, that yeah, it's wholesome from beginning to end, and yeah, the whole approach to it is so baffling. How they just took short snippets of songs and expanded upon them, and the loops never getting tiring in the long run. That's amazing. That's exactly what I want to do in the long run, musically. That I'm really really inspired by that, and I think I'm gonna do it for a long while.
Yeah, that's actually a good point too. It's like as we get older and still kind of push forward with maybe what connects with us now musically, there's still so much in that like older and younger stuff that still speaks for its time. Um,
Yeah.
and that's something I guess like we have about like classic rock or like this we like to genre 70s and 80s and 90s music, even though in that genre there's so much different kinds of music going on there. It's hard to say like that's just like of that time. um
Mm.
and I wanted to bring it up with like your own music. You have like kind of a mixture yourself of like this ambient kind of sounding stuff to more poppy, straight to the point of like what you can get out. Was there ever kind of like a moment where you were just trying to find out how you were going to become an artist?
Over the years, for sure, yeah, I'm still debating that. What is my output going to be? That's the. I don't know if I'm ever going to find out actually, but it's not like I have set in stone. This is my genre or style of expression. That's something I hope is always gonna be ever changing and evolving and turning into new types of constellations. From most of my time, I play music by myself, but I love to reach out and constantly break ideas with my friends who are also into music and express themselves and really gifted and talented in so many ways. There's just so many ways you can give somebody feedback, I guess, and it's always good to not hold back when it comes to those things. And in the end, you have to be grateful also for the kind of inputs you get. And yeah,
I
I don't know.
seen on your page too. You played some music, some of your music on like a on like an actual ship. You were like doing like your own kind of thing. Was that like a gig, and you were just happened to be coasting along the water? How did that happen?
Oh yeah, yeah, the water gig. Yeah, yeah, that was like a party 2 years ago, almost. Yeah. No, a friend of mine asked me if I wanted to play at their party on a boat, and I was, yeah, of course I couldn't say no. It's just like
Yeah.
we had met on a party like the same summer where I also did a small gig, and yeah, I just brought all my equipment and set up shop. It was all DJs on the cruise, and yeah, so people are used to seeing a kind of DJ rig. There's nothing crazy about that. People raving in front of a DJ, expecting it to be one kind of thing. Then you show up with like 4 to 5 different sequencers, synthesizers, samplers, you name it, and people don't really get what they're looking at, but still they can appreciate the effort in the end, and that's something you gotta be really grateful for when you get the opportunity. And yeah, for sure, I'm gonna take every chance I get coming up.
I really admired I guess like in the show alone people are going to get a little dose of what you said and what you've been working on. So I kind of wanted to get into this part. Do you have like a recording process? Like you're starting with a beat? Are you starting like with the melody? Are you starting with like a one certain piece of gear? Or are you firing everything up?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I kind of touched upon it before with the whole analog digital thing,
Yeah,
going across different platforms of working and so on. But usually I have like yeah, you just imagine, just like in the same way you have a project saved in on your computer in your DAW, it's the same kind of workflow on any type of gear, more or less, which are semi-intelligent in any extension.
definitely.
You can use and save your own projects and build songs from scratch. And my setup, I can talk about briefly, is like I have this sequencer I've had for 4 or 5 years now, the Electribe from Korg. And it's kind of primitive, but it wasn't so pricey when I got over it. So that's the main reason I got it, and I could use it to control 3 or 4 of my other sequencers in my setup, and that's really really gold, because without an external sequencer, you're very very limited to these very very short loops, which get pretty tiresome in the long run. You want to be able to build chord progressions when you're making songs, and I mean, if that's your style in the long run. A lot of great electronic music stems from the limitations in these kinds of tools that's been used over time, and that's really really cool when to see when where the breaking point starts to show.
Yes, yes. And also I feel like it does kind of like depend on the track. Like I think in my own self, like I know well, this one is definitely going to need like a different kind of energy or a different kind of feeling than like maybe like the fast paced next track that I have like in mind. And I think like with like your tracks, you're able to kind of like build up like a space and sound. And I was wondering if like at first, if you were always like a sound like mixer engineer type of person.
Yeah, 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 for sure. That's part of the process of what I'm doing. Yeah, I describe it as sound mixing and yeah, well, setting up and recording in that sense. Yeah, for sure. But when I like build a track, I have as many starting points as I get new ideas. I mean, just by judging from the 3 tracks I put together in that little live set I send you. It's like, yeah, I take a short sample from a song and build a loop around it, and then I start playing my things on top of it. And in the other end is like, um, yeah, it's actually another sample too, but yeah, it's like, okay, here I'm using a chord progression more. I'm thinking more of the whole picture. So yeah, you gotta have 4 or 5 different sequences all lined up and ready to go. And once you press play, you can't turn back, as you say.
Yeah, yeah. That's definitely a really good point too, because like whenever you're starting to get in more into making like yeah, so whenever you're making music, are you typically always having it up like towards where you're hearing it in speakers every time, like you're kind of running it through your PA or your amp?
Yeah, I have at the moment I got a new apartment here in the city I live, and it's like I have a very primitive setup sound wise, just like old computer speakers. But I usually use like my headgear, and it's a pretty solid sound image. Yeah, I'm not deep into that technical side of it. I'd love to work in a studio with really good equipment one day, but yeah, when the budget allows you, yeah,
Yep.
you just gotta let it brew.
I'm on the same way because sometimes I get lucky to like going into like my friends' spaces that have like that real drum kit and like real stuff set up where you're actually able to turn up and play your instrument and get as loud as possible. But then there's also like the moments whenever you're making music back at your, your apartment, and you're like, taking it really chill or minimalistic, or working
Yeah.
on stuff different, maybe than like how you would if you were constantly like feeding all that sound and like really manipulating and working with different sounds. And this kind of get into my next question. Have you ever like recorded music in the studio or been in the studio?
Yeah, I've been around with my friends back when I lived close to Stockholm a couple of years ago back. I've been around in studios and that kind of thing. Tried out mixing my own songs in that kind of setting is eye-opening for sure, or ear-opening if you want to be specific. Because once you plug into a PA system on another scale than, let's say, a primitive computer speaker setup in your home, it's like, okay, yeah, you see a picture of a church, or you stand next to it. That's kind of a difference, and that sense of scale, and you just got to keep that in mind. And also when you're performing, that's something I've learned when I pressed play.
Here's a really funny question, okay?
Yeah, bring it.
Okay, so if you were stranded on an island and you could take one thing with you, what would you bring?
Ooh. Oh man, yeah, my acoustic guitar for sure. It's the least dependent thing. If I want to bring my favorite record, I gotta have a record player. If I want to bring my clothes, I want the rest of my wardrobe. The shit never ends. So an acoustic guitar with some decent strings on it, yeah, would keep me from losing my mind, I think.
I think I might lose my mind if I lose all the strings. um, okay, well, here's some of these curveball questions, I guess, for you to really get into. If you were going to say like an animated character represented yourself, like what animated character would you say most likely is like you?
Ooh, man, I don't know if you've noticed on my Instagram, I have this Clay-Doh English character from Wallace and Gromit. The
Yes.
dog. Yeah. I just rewatched it last Christmas, and I was like, okay, this is too nostalgia vibey for me. I and that whole imagery with the movie where they travel to the moon and shit is like
Mm-hmm.
Gromit is carrying that headgear, and Wallace wants to tune in and listen, and I was like, that's something I gotta capture. That's something I want to use for a set or something. It's too bold of an image, and I just like it. So yeah, that's, I guess, to answer your question.
Yeah, that's a really good answer. And also, if you were going to say a sitcom you had to be trapped in for the rest of your life, what sitcom?
Oh yeah, man, I'm always comparing myself to Larry David, and Curb Enthusiasm is something that ages like fine wine. So yeah, solid show.
All right. So, with your music inspirations, what kind of music were you listening to growing up?
Ooh, good question. I guess like the first real artist I fell in love with, or whatever you want to call it, is like Bob Marley. That kind of reggae. It was probably the first artist that I truly obsessed with. Like downloaded the entire discography from beginning to end, like all the deep cuts, bootlegs. Yeah, Bob Marley was like the thing. But now it's like I don't even own vinyl of Bob Marley, so I can't say that I'm that into it anymore. But yeah, I guess it kind of slipped over into Lee Scratch Perry and King Tubby, that kind of era of dub reggae more. But yeah, Bob Marley has always been big for me. And my friend has this saying that there's song for every kind of emotion out there, and I
Oh,
guess there's probably some truth to that. So,
ooh, man, that's really deep.
Bob Marley goes deep, man, and I'm not the first one to say it. So,
Yeah, I was a fan. I was like a fan of like the hits growing up, but it took me until like college really to take the dive and really understand more about Bob Marley.
yeah,
My friends are really big into Bob Marley and like Kid Cudi, but I just like I was slowly getting there.
man, there's always time to check out music.
I
So,
I
don't beat
still
yourself up about it.
I still used to get like really stoned and like put on the reggae channel on like direct TV music channels or whatever, but it was still nothing like crazy.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Some things just take time, I guess.
um well, I really do appreciate you taking the time to chat with me about your music and also I want to bring
My
up
pleasure, man. My pleasure.
before we go if there's like you know like anything you'd want to mention, like a favorite book, anything you'd like want to shout out, something that you've seen recently, or like your friends or family, whatever.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. I appreciate it. I've just spent the entire afternoon sitting outside in the sun, reading the latest Bret Easton Ellis book, The Shards.
Okay.
You might know him as the author of American Psycho and Less Than Zero. So it's definitely worth a check out. It's really funny and cynical and like gory and all the things you'd expect. So
I will have to give that a look. I've heard about it, but I have not read.
yeah, it's fairly new. So yeah, go ahead, man. I've heard that the official Spotify playlist for the book, accompanying the book, is over 9 hours long. So that's rabbit hole if you want to go there.
Yeah, that's really gnarly. Actually, that's a great shout out.
Well,
Well, thank you for joining Vibe Osmosis, and hopefully it's a good rest of your day. And I'll keep you
same, man.
posted on all the information and everything.
Thank you very much, buddy. Appreciate the opportunity. Yeah, let's keep in touch, man.
Yeah, we'll keep in touch for sure. All right, you have a good one now. Ciao.
Take care, puppy.
All right.